You hear me now? No? Settings.
You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
All right. There we go. Am I coming in?
Yep.
Perfect. Just seems like the microphone. There we go. That sounds better. All right, it's another sound check. It's my last sound check.
Sounds good.
All right, man, we're good. How you doing, Jim?
Okay.
All right, man. So tell me how, others aren't even here yet, but in case they do join us, I'm gonna just go ahead and get this out the way, man. How was your start of your round yesterday?
I hit the fairway. I hit the green. It rolled in the hole. It
That
was that
easy, right?
simple. It was that simple. I left the flag and I pulled it a little bit and it rolled down. I thought, well, that'll be really nice and close. I got up there and thought, where in the heck is the ball? It was in
hmm
the hole.
So you didn't know it until you got to the green that it actually was in
Right.
there?
That's
Yeah.
right.
So then the next hole, man, you
Yeah,
fired
made a
out.
birdie on the next one. Yeah.
Right. So you're 3 under after 2 holes.
Right. I
You
was hoping it was going to be a 2-hole tournament.
Now, in your case, when was the rain delay?
Uh, we had
Coming.
not made the turn yet.
Okay, so you're kind of like through 7 or 8 holes,
6 or
maybe more,
7. Yeah.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been a very tense moment if the sirens blew and you're sitting in the barns 3 under through 2 holes, man. I don't know what kind of energy it would be, the kind of blood that be going through my veins, man.
Oh, you can't pay attention to that. It all has a way of balancing out.
All right.
Well, as you noticed by the fact I was what 5 over after that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So
Look, heck of a round, man. You finished one over par. It was a par 73, 74 was your round.
yeah, I couldn't believe we ended up going to a par 5 on that 400-yard hole. But
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know who you can blame for that one.
it
Um,
doesn't matter. It's the total number you shoot. So
that's correct, right? Um, it didn't change much of the strategy for many folks. I think it was just a relief that if your score was high enough, you just knew it was either
bad.
it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it lets you tee off with a 3-wood and not feel bad.
Correct. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, Larry had a nice hole right there. I think he made a 3.
Oh, Larry. Yeah, Delson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull him over. Yeah, yeah, he eagled it, and one other person did as well out of the champ flight, Brian Spielis. I
I
thought
can.
that the eagle, man, I had a great chance at it too. I've never been on that green in two,
Mm-hmm.
and I was near the front, had to go up that ridge or whatever as the pin was sitting back there in the back left, and it was tracking. I mean, it died probably 6 inches from the cup. I mean, I knew it was short, but I was just kind of hoping to get there. I said, man, that would have been sweet had that dropped. But
Oh no, it felt good to be on in 2 and not be down there in that false front area. So I'm
man,
sure.
I've taken some high. I took a 9 there last year, I think, because I went in the drink on my drive and then went in the bunker on my, drop third. And then I scalded out of the bunker into the weeds in the backdrop up there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a mess. And then when you come out of it, you're going back down the false front and coming back up and three putting. I mean, it was,
And Larry was up there. He says, "What is the deal about this hole?" I said, "Well, getting there is not so hard, but that green has a lot of character."
yes, it does.
So
Yeah, I remember prior to the tournament, a few players reached out to me and said, why is that a par five? It's only 430 yards, or maybe that. And I'm like, he says, my GPS only says it's like 420 yards. And I was like, well, it's a forest carry creek that crosses it. And, it's an elevated green, about 70 feet high, and there's probably 3-tier green. So
mhm.
just play the hole. And then, if
Don't quit counting till you're
don't,
done.
yeah. All right, so looks like this is going to be the start in the set of the show that we're going to have here. That was kind of the reception. We got a couple new participants joining in with us, and I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Get the backdrop going here. All right, so many of you, this is the Tour Talk. It's the Trophy and Award Ceremony, the Open at Springfield Country Club. For my new participants, this is the moment now where we will begin recording. We are? Okay. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jacob Bridges, Tour Director of the Golf Capital City Amateur Tour. And we are here for the Trophy and Award Ceremony for the Open at the Springfield Country Club. If people are joining in a little bit later, participants are muted upon entry. The session is recorded and will be available to share on YouTube. If there is a chat function down at the bottom on that menu bar, you're more than welcome to have private chats with each other. I will kind of look at it, maybe moderate and see if you got anything. But there's some segments in here where I'll pause and come up for some air and ask you if you got any questions. The session is scheduled to be less than 45 minutes. And then when I kind of do pass the mic out to you guys, be mindful where you're at. Hopefully you're in a quiet area to avoid some of that background noise. All right, so let's go ahead, get right into some agenda stuff here. Let's review, where we're at just yesterday. We awarded in total prize trophy and award of $3,550. We had 72 players on the course. That's very significant. You won't find that relative anywhere, any tour out there. The highest award amount paying was a $515 award to Gary Karch. He was our lone super skin and flight skin winner. So he walked away with $515 cash. A feat here where we had co-medalists, both shooting a round of 1 over par 74, Mr. Maxim Boone and our flight champion here with us, Mr. Jim Pullins. Overall, we had 9 flight champions. Yesterday was the first event that we had no restrictions on the flag stick. I'll kind of ask you guys what you guys think about that one and how it played in your round. Very impressive. Our lead group completed their round in 3 hours and 40 minutes. They said they could have gone faster if it weren't for the member play in front of them. So very, that's a big achievement because we can't accomplish our round through all the tee times without that lead group. So kudos and compliments to them. There's some course statistics out there. We had no one birdie. Number 18. So you guys, and that's, when I say hole 18, that's the actual hole 18. It was probably your 9th hole of play as we teed off on 10. And then we'll kind of browse over some Capital City standings, how the end of year prize fund looks. I was able to put that together since we're kind of like halfway now into our season. And then where we are on the low net stroke play, which begins at our next tournament. So let's get right into the award of our champions. So it's the result page. Confirm for me, Jim. I think you're on. Is this what you see? The results page on our? Okay.
Yes, I can see it fine.
Technology, the IT department's working. They're working behind the scenes back here, man. So we're making sure what I see, you see. All right. So we'll just go down in order from the top here. We'll begin with our Woods flight. This field, regularly now for every tournament we've fielded of Woods flight. So even though small number, there's a big prize here at stake. And let me zoom in for this so you guys can kind of see it even on the playback. So very contentious group right here, close in proximity of score and kind of earning him way in a 1-stroke victory here. First time playing on tour, Mr. Maxim Boone. I don't think Maxim, are you by chance out there? Okay. I can't see all the participants. All right. So Maxim Boone, he has the option whether if he wants a trophy and a Visa gift card at the value of $100 or add that expense of the trophy to the gift card and walk away with a total amount of $140. Earning him 900 points in the Capital City point standing. And again, at the end, we'll kind of take a look at that for each flight. So we'll move on to our next. Returning in the action. This gentleman here, he's a brave soul. He's young enough to do it. He's the only guy on tour that prefers to walk and insists on walking. So returning the action for the first time this year. Again, competed down at the national championships last year. a narrow victory on our Palmer flight, squeaking away again a one-stroke victory for a round of 77, 3 over par, Mr. Cody Lyons. Cody, are you out there with us, man? I don't think I see him as well. Okay. So Cody, too, earned himself 900 Capital City points. And that option I'll receive from him, whether or not he wants the trophy and Visa or Visa alone. Our next flight winner here, and this is a Hogan flight, handicaps 8 to 11.9. We're paying out 2 spots in this flight. The theme of the day, it's on the show, another one-stroke victory. You kind of see here, we started on the back 9, okay? So we finished on the front 9, and if you see this score differential right here, this switched first to second place. That's a 2-stroke swing on the last hole, that par 3. So I know Mr. Doug Bartholomew out there, he didn't know it at the time, but he had a 1-stroke lead going into the 18th hole. And so Drew landed on top with that par. Drew's already reached out to me. Not able to participate in tonight's showing, but again, this is a personal best, if I'm not mistaken, for Mr. Van Scoy. He was our winner in the single elimination tournament last year. Very strong showing so far this year. Got a great year going for him, and congratulations again to Mr. Drew Van Scoy. Our next flight winner, this guy's on fire. Okay, I'm gonna introduce you guys to this gentleman here out of the Saracen flight. These are for handicaps 12 to 15.9. Our largest flight in the tournament yesterday, fielding 17 players, and very impressive going out with a front side of 37. Not too much. I think the rain delay right here kind of got him on a slow start, but then finished strong, and was this birdie right here. If you guys see this, there was a tie for first place. Okay, this birdie on his 18th hole put him in that tie. And USGA tiebreaker, we go to the finishing 9 holes, the finishing 6, which they were still tied. Then it went to the last 3 holes. Okay, so that birdie right there from those last 3 holes knotted him that victory by virtue of a tiebreaker on the scorecard. So Mr. Chad Warner here, a hefty amount. This is back-to-back wins for Chad Warner. Not only recently he won at our Jones flight and got graduated this tournament, but he earned his personal best in tournament round golf, a 79. So that's 6 over par, 79 for Mr. Chad Warner. So congratulations to Mr. Warner, and we'll be seeing him hopefully here solidifying his position and having a good spot way forward in the Saracen flight in that race for the season championship. Our next flight here is our Jones flight, 16 to 19.9. Got a lot of color on this grid. This gentleman here walked away with some cash and some prize. I'm very impressed with this member on our tour. Chris Berry here, as you kind of see, landed himself in our winner circle. Not only did Chris win our flight, but Chris is eligible to compete in the Snead flight. And speaking to Chris this year, he felt that his game was improving. He felt that he was on the, not only improving his play, but I think he wanted to be playing with better competition. So he graduated himself to the Jones flight, and the results are showing. And, so he is forward thinking in that. And this is one of his best on tour, shooting a round of 83 for a 3-stroke victory, Mr. Chris Berry. Congratulations to him. All right. We're going to our next flight, and it's our champion out of the Snead flight. These are for handicaps 20 and above, paying out 2 spots. Got it together here. Not only was this winner another 1-stroke victory, which is very complimentary of how the handicaps and the flight parameters of this tour are structured. This is our 6th flight we're awarding, and it's our 5th 1-stroke victory or victory virtue by tiebreaker. So a lot of close players. Flight parameters are very accurate with the way the handicaps are working. This gentleman right here, I think this is his 2nd win on the season. I think it's from out of Gahanna, Ohio, right? So yeah. Mr. Cliff Wiley, congratulations, Cliff. Cliff, you on the line with us, right?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can, man. You're coming in loud and clear. So we got the golfers clap by those who are here watching. Again, man, congratulations. This is your 2nd win on the season, the 1st in our local major. Certainly planting yourself in a good position on the outlook of the season. How was that round yesterday, man? And how did that weather at all? Did it, bother you as you kind of looked at the finish of your round?
Well, it may have aided me because I was in the first group and we completed our 18 holes before the weather delay.
Oh, that's right. That is correct. Thank you for sharing that. So I kind of led off this segment with one of those previewed items that the league group, you guys finished really well with like 3 hours and 45 minutes. And if I was spoken to it, you could have finished earlier, right?
Yes, because we ran into club members and had to wait.
Right. So playing
Yeah.
at that pace, and obviously most times you kind of been in the middle of the field when we're in the straight T format. How did that help you? Did it kind of keep you in a groove?
Oh, it kept me in a groove. It kept me, sometimes when I wait, I get nervous. I think too much. But with being the first group and we were able to just hit and move and keep moving and keep moving, we had actually only had to wait on 10 when we started the back nine. We had to probably wait about 10 minutes there. But other than that, uh, it started flowing. And I think that's why I shot a better score
Mhm.
because I didn't have to wait and think so much, just was in a rhythm.
So not, nothing, too low, too high, just pretty consistent, steady on your first 9 holes right here going out inside 47.
Right.
Then we see you kind of make the turn here, and like you said, you kind of had a little hiccup right there on 10 with that little delay before you started that. But right here at 11 and 12 and into 13, you play these holes and one under par. So talk to us a little bit about this stretch right here, and to include that birdie on the 13th hole, that par 4 uphill. Talk to us about that.
Um, that's an interesting hole. On that par four, being that we played from one up from white, I
Mm-hmm.
think it was silver or whatever it was. One of the guys I played with was playing from it was in a different flight, and he was playing from the back tees. And he was saying, well, this is the hole you can go for it, because I was hitting my drive pretty straight and pretty long most of the day. And so I'll start thinking too much. Okay, should I not go to, because there was a creek up there. I didn't know if I would reach the creek, cross the creek, whatever. And so I didn't want to mess up. So I'd pull out a 4 hybrid that I hit 200, and I pop it up in the air, and it only goes about 75 yards. But my next shot was long and across the creek, and then my third shot was 2 feet from the flag.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I made the birdie.
Okay.
But that was the hole he told me I should have been able to get an eagle on.
Sure. That's not that's a tall ask. That's the hole that, in years past it was a par 4 and this year's a par 5. So again, I can kind of hear out of you, and I'll hear from the others too. It kind of just changed your strategy a little bit. It made you think about it again.
Yes.
The distance was the same, but the par changed, and that kind of made you think about whether you can take on that creek that crossed the fairway.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Well, you certainly put that stretch of holes right there, really put you in a good position, because again, you played that. Your handicaps, we're not pros, man, but you played this stretch of holes in one under par. You kind of see here going into that last hole, it seems like to be the difference maker. You only won by a stroke, but those last 2 holes, you didn't know it at the time, but
But
it was a 2-stroke swing.
but on that last hole, I hit right on the green. I had like a 12-foot putt for uphill for a birdie,
Mm.
where I hit it about 12, 14 inches short. My next putt, it went straight to the hole and stopped. I should have had a par on that hole.
Oh, okay.
I was not more than a millimeter from going in, and it
Okay.
stopped. So it should have. I mean, luckily I won by a stroke, but I should have won by 2.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, good fortune there. You never know what the result is. You also were a winner and recipient of the Super Last Man Standing King of the Hill contest. So congratulations, you again, Mr. Wiley, on the second win of the season. And I'll ask the question here, as I will the other champions. What would be your option as far as the trophy and the visa?
I would like a trophy. I've always had money, but I would like a trophy so I always have something to look at other than
Yeah.
money. So I would definitely like the trophy and the visa on the rest.
Okay. Well, we'll wait to see what the other totals are on those trophy options, and then I'll reach out to you guys for procurement and selection later. Okay.
All
All right.
right.
Stay on the line and congratulate your fellow champions.
All righty.
All right. Next in the order, we're going to go to our senior division. First among them is our senior Palmer flight. This is a handicap of 4 to 7.9 for ages of 55 and over, paying out 1 spot. Now, this is a very good one. This is a personal best. This gentleman, man, if we ever had a Pain Stewart Award on tour, I would really say this is a guy that would get it. Even keel, sentimental, very polite, complimentive all the time, very cordial. I'm gonna introduce you guys to our senior Palmer flight champion, shooting around a 1 over par, Mr. Jim Pullins.
Are you getting ready to raise the dues again, Jacob? Hey, you must have met my dad. You didn't know that. You met my dad. You're just talking about him.
Okay, right.
Thank you.
So, Jim, tell us about a round. We kind of already previewed some of this. I'll let you lead it. So, tell us how your day started.
It went pretty well. You asked me how it started. I hit the fairway on the first hole, and I hit a 9-iron on the green. It happened to roll in the hole. So that was kind of made it look like a pretty easy game. And then the next hole, knock it on the green, roll in the putt, birdie. I'm 3 under after 2 holes. And then I quickly just get back to usual and give 2 strokes back. And
Right.
I think I gave 5 strokes back over the next 7 holes. But it was a good day. We had the group we played with was a good group. The pace was pretty decent. It got a little slow from time to time, but not too terribly bad. The weather hit us, I think, after about 6 or 7 holes maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then was really comfortable after that. I mean, it was really a nice evening after the rain passed through. And it was just one of those rounds where I think I ended up with 30 putts. If you end up with 28 to 30 putts, your score is usually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a nice round. Love playing that course. That's just a lovely course. One thing that was really helpful was you see on number 8 there would have been 17 for us. I got a birdie right there,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that green is really one green with 4 quadrants, and you got to be in the right quadrant was really helpful knowledge to have.
Right. Not many. You were one of several players on tour. Not several players. Sorry, let me back that up and repeat. I think you were only one other player that actually birdied. I take that back. So there was 3 birdies total on 8. You were one of the 3 players.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you were soaring Eagles fly off of the tee box on the first hole for every.
Right.
I mean, to drop one from the fairway. How far out were you on that one?
I hit a 9-iron, so I think I was 142.
Okay.
And I aimed for the middle of the green, pulled it a little bit, still hit that bank, and then it just rolled down the
Right
hill.
in. So you mentioned you got back to normal, right? But then that kind of rain delay was right here. But
Yep.
On the scorecard, man, you finished even par of your last 10 holes. I mean, shooting 1 over par for the round, you're going to do some of that stuff, but personal best for you, right?
It was a good round that's probably my best tournament round on the tour. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, Mr. Pullins, certainly in the standings, I took a peek at it. This is going to really put you and leapfrog you a few slots here, as this event was a double point event. Returning to the winner's circle now. Your award of either 115 or 155. Mr. Pullins, what do you decide on your trophy or visa option?
I think I'll take the 115 and the trophy because I don't have a trophy from Springfield, but I thought I ought to had one once before.
Sure. Right.
So, yeah, I'll take the trophy there.
All right. Trophy it is. All right. Well, stay on the line and congratulate your fellow champions. Again, congratulations on your round.
Thank you.
All right. Next up is our next senior flight in the Hogan flight. Handicaps 8 to 11.9. Again, we're at the ages of 55 and over in this flight. We're paying 2 spots as we had 7 players out on the course. Not unfamiliar with winning this season. This is the second time. It seems to be consistent. I remember maybe it was an event, our first event this year. We had Mr. Cliff Wiley and Mr. Jim Pullins win an event where this gentleman also won the same event. So I think there's just something going on with the kind of course we're playing and how well you guys play on these style of courses. So consistently at Muirfield Village Country Club, here we have our senior Hogan flight champion, 4-stroke victory, Jay Ryan. Jay, are you happen to be on the line? I know you were going to try to make it. Don't think he was able to get here with us this evening. So again, Mr. Jay Ryan, congratulate to him. Another 900 points added to his standings. And I think that will also put him in a great position moving onward to the finish of the last quarter of the season. All right, our last and final flight here. I'm going to do a mic check. Mr. McGee, I think I heard you or chat box that you might have some audio problems. Go ahead and give me a mic check.
Can you hear me, Jake?
Yep, you're there. You go.
All right,
All
great.
right. So, Mr. McGee, you as well, man. Two-time winner on tour, going back to back. Obviously, hit a rut there in the last, 12 months playing tournament golf. But here you are, able to string a couple wins together, playing really well, some consistent golf. Sides out, going in 39, coming in at 42. Overall, a really good round. And again, here we are, the theme of the day, a one-stroke victory out of another flight winner, um, Mr. John McGee. John, tell us a little bit about your round and what struck out to you the most as you look back on the scorecard.
Well, I'll be honest. When I went into the round, my goal was to win the last man standing. So I was trying to do bogey or better on every hole, which I did until 17,
Yep.
and that held up really well. I hit fairways, greens, and the other part of my formula to success, three putt. I
Mm-hmm.
three putted at least 5 times. So
Okay.
those greens, I'm a bad putter, but those greens expose you, and
Mhm.
that was frustrating. But it was enjoyable. What was neat is when I won at Pinnacle, I was in the group with Buzz. Buzz came in second by 1 stroke to me. So
Mhm.
yesterday, I'm in the group with Buzz and Dwayne, and
Mhm.
Dwayne came in second by 1 stroke. So that made it really exciting when you're
Mhm.
playing head to head and you don't know what the rest of the field's doing, but you just know if I beat this guy, I've got a chance. And that's what I did.
Right. And I think we've all said it amongst ourselves and out loud right here in this session. You can't win your flight if you don't come first in your group. Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. So absolutely, man. So obviously you got some good, rapport with your cart mates, those in your group, very competitive, and that's the, the model of playing this tournament golf stuff. I pride myself in others who request to play with their fellow competitors. Very friendly group of people, but when you get someone that really rivals your handicap, they're probably maybe a stroke or two better than you in some spots, maybe be able to outdrive you, but you can catch up with them on the short game. That really challenges you. And the course is not always the same, but I get that competitive edge out of me. Not every course is the same, and not every round's the same. But with you, whom you play with, they kind of inspire you to do a little bit better, and make you focus, right? Even when you kind of get yourself in a corner. So again, that last man standing contest, you mentioned it, with not to say without it, but it certainly puts a focus on you, right? You're like, okay, this is pretty easy. If I align myself with the contest, it may yield a good round of golf, right? Is that what you were saying?
Exactly. That's exactly right. Now,
Okay.
it's funny because for a while there, I thought I was the guy who won the last man standing. I think for a while you had the spreadsheet updated that way, but
Hmm.
I see a couple guys went the whole round
Hmm.
within their limit, right?
That's correct. So what Mr. Wiley brought that to my attention. It was simply a refresh on the screen, and what happened is that the contest in which that hole or better score, it didn't refresh, but it actually got right before the results got posted and anyone got paid. So.
Yeah, but you're right. Having that in my mind that I wanted nothing worse than a bogey,
Mhm.
it made me keep the ball in play.
Mhm.
You know, play the fat part of the green. Let's hit some fairways. Try to two putt,
Mhm.
and it worked out because it kept my score low.
Well, you said it. I'm gonna poke at you a little bit. You said it. You did it all the way until 17, and then the wheels fell off because you did it again on 18. it,
Yeah. So
it
on
survived for me.
17, I'm right in the middle of the fairway
Mhm.
on the upslope,
Wow.
and it was
Yeah.
kind of wet there, and
Mhm.
I just hit that fat. Do you guys remember that tree to the right of the green there? I
Mhm.
knocked it right next to the tree. Now I'm chipping short sided.
Mhm.
I'm on the other side of the green and I three putted.
Mhm.
And then on 18, greenside bunker plugged. And I didn't know the ruling, so I played it where it lied. It was plugged and bedded in the bunker. And I just played it out. Got to the back of the green, three putted again. So
Mhm.
did the best I
Man,
could as long as I could.
well, fortunately enough that worked in your favor. That that rule following thing. As we were lift clean or lift foot rake in place everywhere in the bunkers.
Okay.
But it's not sour ending. So we're all looking at it right here. You came out on top with the one stroke victory. All right. Well,
I'm very
congratulations.
happy.
So once again, as I asked the champions of before you, I think we already did this over the email. You elect to go with the trophy, correct?
I need a trophy. Yeah, I need to prove that I won this thing.
All right, man. Well, that's good to hear. All right, so again, congratulations to all you guys, champions yesterday. A very challenging course. Again, it's one of the courses that are looked forward to every year on the schedule. It's a fan favorite. It's a player favorite. So once again, congratulations, you guys. So in general, we're going to kind of go a couple ways here. What do you guys think about the no restrictions on the flag stick?
Being able to take it out was good, but I also worried about if I needed to clean my hands every time.
Sure. Yeah. Jim?
I'm a sticky on all the time kind of guy. I play on the road by myself, and I just leave it in. And but the couple guys I played with, there were putts they had that they appreciated being able to take it out.
Yep. John?
Like Jim, our group left it in the entire time. But I did like the option if I ever wanted to take it out, I could.
Sure.
But we did not touch the stick.
Okay. All right. Yeah, me too, man. As a player, there was a one moment where I had a short putt. It was inside, the rubber of my putter, maybe 2 feet, where I took it out myself. That's kind of those putts that you don't want the leaning flag stick to catch that visual out of your peripheral to disturb you on that putt. So I took it out and helped. That was kind of the end of the day. There was water in the bottom of the cup, but you got it out of there. All right. So what I'm going to do, we're going to look at some of the capital city point standings here. So we're going to go to the flights to which you guys are here for. We'll start with Mr. Wiley. Mr. Wiley, all three of you are in the senior division, right? So Senior Palmer here. So Mr. Pullins, here we go. So you can kind of see here, awarding you 900 points here on yesterday's event. Certainly prior to it, even if you can look at it, you can kind of do some public math that you jumped a few spots and really kind of put a little bit of space in between you and second. The defending, season champ right here, Mr. Rick Williamson, is certainly right behind you. He's going to make sure that you're not going to get too far ahead of him as we go forward, okay? As you're looking down here, I mentioned on the preview, this is the current projected end-of-year prize fund, and this is kind of what we're projected at, okay? So not hefty as it was last year. Your flight does not have that many participants. But the projection here is based on having 70 players at Hickory Rattle and then 60 at our tour championship. So obviously it's a moving number. It's not fixed, but right now this is kind of what you're looking at for the end of year prize.
Well, the good news is I do something else for money.
That's right. Not for what you're known for, right?
Right.
All right, but I thought that this was relative. We as golfers and players, when I speak to something that there's a prize at the end of the rainbow, you kind of want to know what it is. And right now we can speak to it. You can look at it and then set your goals to it. All right, Mr. McGee, here you are. Senior Saracen flight has been, a pretty, 8 to 10 players per event. So the size of the prize is a little bit larger. Just like Mr. Pullins before you, public map, you can kind of see you jumped a few spots as well. Got a cushion in between you and Buzz. You mentioned Dwayne Bodrick, those competitors that was in your cart or your group yesterday. They're right behind you. Okay. So we certainly are on the right track, but just before you, the current and the projected is here. Okay. And last but not least, Mr. Wiley. Mr. Wiley, again, senior sneak flight. We probably got a handful every event. You can kind of see 4 to 5 players. You certainly got a lead, buddy. You certainly, winning at Muirfield, you finished second at Medallion, and landing yourself in the winner's circle for yesterday's event really put some distance between you and the others in the flight. If you just stay above ground, man, it looks like you're going to kind of glide on in, but certainly it's not a done deal, right?
Right.
But you're in position. And because of the nature of the number of participants in the flight this year, it's a win or go home. So it's only projected out to be a first and first only award. Okay. All right. Now, if you guys are kind of following me here, you're familiar. This is the home page of the dashboard. And if you ever want to get to where those standards are located, you just go here. You can just click your flight. If I want to go to Senior Saracen, where Mr. McGee is, it'll take me right down to his standings. Okay. Click up here, Senior Palmer. It'll take me right up here to Jim Paulins. If you want to go back out home, we go back out to here. Okay.
All right.
One of the other items I did say that I wanted to share with you guys is the low net stroke play. That's beginning at our next event at Hickory Hills. And right now we are with 16 participants. Many of you guys saw this last year, in the year before. This is in year 3 of this event. And this is essentially, is any of you in this competition this year? None of you signed up for it, huh?
I'm
No.
in it this year. I've never played it before though.
That's right, Cliff. You're right here, man. So, this is low net stroke play. So, Wiley, you're the 2 seed here in the regional bracket on this side. You're going to go head to head with Nicholas Johnson at Hickory Hills. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to receive 9 strokes in that matchup. Okay.
Right.
It's simple. If you lose within 9 strokes, meaning 8 or less, you advance to the regional final at Rattlesnake Ridge. Okay.
Okay.
If you win your match, you get $20 for reaching Elite 8. Okay.
Okay.
If you advance to the final 4, you get $30.
Okay.
Okay. And then if you reach the championship round, you get 40. And then if you are runner up, it's 75. If you win, it's 150 push trophy.
Well, one question I have here
Yep.
is, I believe, okay, we've got Springfield, Hickory. I'm not sure who the next 2 is, but it seems like you got 4 going into the championship at the same time. I mean, 4, and then that's actually a championship round.
Oh,
So,
so here we are. So it's a little too large. So if I minimize it, it gets a little bit pixelated. But this bracket here, regional, meets this regional winner down here. So it's a very large.
okay, what course is that?
That's Mount Vernon. So that's day 1 of the tour championship.
Oh, I got you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So it's day 1. This is what the symbols are. This is the logo of Mount Vernon for the final 4 pairing, right?
Okay.
And then the championship head to head is at day 2 of the tour championship at Columbus Country Club.
Okay.
Okay. So it's over
Okay.
the next 3 rounds, or 4 rounds of golf on 3 tournaments. So we got Hickory Hills, right?
Right.
Then Rattlesnake, and then the 2-day championship is our final 4.
Okay. Got you.
Okay.
All right.
So again, it's just head to head. It's low net. So, obviously once we get out of the month of July, we're going to have another handicap revision. So, if you advance, your handicap may go to 23 and change.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
So it's all fun. It's another side game, and you can anticipate, and those out there watching this on the playback, each of your head-to-head opponents, you can anticipate that you're going to be in the same group as them. Because
Okay.
we don't have live scoring, it's relative to the competition that you desire. You will be grouped with Nicholas Johnson.
Okay.
So that way,
Definitely. That's a good thing though.
yep.
Yeah.
So you can see it. You get 9 strokes. It's part of that game tournament with inside of a tournament, and you can kind of play with each other out. And obviously, I'll kind of make up your third to be someone who's consistent with you guys' handicaps.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. So we're looking at our next event here. It's at Hickory Hills. Right now, as I'm talking to you, we got 45 on the tee sheet. I say max is 66. We'll jump in here real quick. I think each and every one of you are already registered. Hickory Hills, I spoke to the GM during our event yesterday. They do permit 2 persons in 1 cart, just like Springfield, with accommodations for a single rider. So, I'm getting a lot of requests for single rider right now, a lot. And currently, I think Mr. Wiley, I just got yours not too long ago.
That's number 12. Yeah.
I don't anticipate that being an issue. If we have 56 carts, I think at most I can accommodate 24, 28, half of that. So I can accommodate 28 single riders and force everyone else in 2-person carts. So that's a max field of 84 players. Now, we don't have all the carts. We're going to be doing member play. The range is close, so we don't have to go through that issue. But nonetheless, that's what I deal with. And that's kind of just sharing with you. Since you have that high number of requests, all it means is if push comes to go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead and finish.
If push comes to shove, if I can only put 10 people in a cart by themselves, that's why that number's next to your name.
Yeah, if that's the case, if it gets down to that nitty gritty type numbers, I can. My son wants to come and caddy for me, but if it's going to rain, he'll back out like he did last time.
He's like, I ain't playing if it was wet.
Yeah, he said it was predicted rain and he backed out.
Okay.
So
well, understand it. Yeah, just let me know if that changes your status with the way your cart assignment goes, because I can't keep track of all that. But nonetheless, I do not anticipate this being a problem. Again, I'm able to accommodate up to 28 single rider requests with that 56 cart number. So this just helps me keep track upon, first come, first serve. As I get them, that's those notes next to your name. So what's fair is fair. All right.
Right.
All right, gentlemen. We're T minus 2 minutes here. Obviously, you guys seen the schedule. You kind of know what's out there. General, you can go anywhere with this. But do you guys got any questions, compliments, any recommendations? Mike is yours.
I dropped you a note earlier, Jacob, about the lost rangefinder.
Yes.
The group that was in front of us was asking us if we'd seen it. That was the group that had it.
Yeah, he got his. So this is a second.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Okay. Well, listen, if you guys haven't done so already, a win for us is if you leave a recommendation out there on the Facebook tour page. What that does is it promotes the tour. It actually speaks to the public, rather than me promoting it, because I guess what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell them we're the best tour. We're the most active. We're the largest tour in the entire country. But if it comes from you, it's probably something that someone out there watching and listening can identify with. So if you ever go out here onto the Facebook, this is the tour page, Capital City M Tour, keyword search. If you just go here to reviews, it's not going to look like this, but it's going to ask you, do you recommend this tour? Yes or no? Click the yes and write a comment.
Okay.
Okay.
I haven't done that before. I will.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Again, it talks to everyone. When you're out here, just browse, kind of look at the social media. And then, again, it speaks to what's going on inside the tour. All right, so that's all I have. I'm going to go ahead and close and wrap this up. I'm Jacob Bridges. Next on the tee is Hickory Hills, Sunday, July 19th. Take care, and we'll see you in the course. Congratulations to all my champions.
All right, thank you.
There, gentlemen.
Yeah.